Welcome to Take 3
of episode
8
of the Outage Couch podcast.
Gab Street podcast. Michelin Man is still not here. We're trying to get him on, but we have quite a packed guest schedule. We're on Take 3 because of two reasons.
Several reasons
now. First reason, we tried to record on a measly little school laptop.
Oh no, because we tried to use
after the first laptop kicked its pants.
We used our regular laptop.
So we are down 2 laptops now. This operation is costing a lot more than we thought.
Yep.
It's very intense. It's an intense project, but we're gonna get through it.
Yep.
Yeah, and the second reason why we are on Take 3 and not 2 is because I left my fucking fan running. So
in the background.
Yeah, it was in the background for a good minute and a half, but that's enough to be a problem. So
all right, we're back at it.
We're back at it. We're gonna recreate the entire episode just for you, word for word. We wrote it down. No, we didn't. We're gonna riff again, and it's gonna be good riff.
But before we get into our topics today, Corey, we do have a very special message.
We do have a special message.
Sponsor. We're finally sponsored.
We are finally sponsored.
This episode of the Gab Street podcast is sponsored by The Green Room. The Green Room has so graciously offered to sponsor us in returning for getting their name out there. Because the thing about The Green Room is that they are not officially open for business yet. They will be open at the end of the year. And they are an Ohio-based shop where they will be selling products from t-shirts to tobacco products, kind of similar to a Spencer's if you've ever been to one of those. You can keep up to date with how the Green Room is doing and where and when you'll be able to shop at one of those stores if you keep up to date with the podcast. Thank you once again, Green Room, for sponsoring the Gab Street podcast.
Yes, as our first official sponsor, it's very exciting.
Yes,
I'm very cool with that happening. You know. Maybe we'll get them to carry official Gab Street t-shirts, Gab Street mugs, sell the street sign, street sign itself.
Might be able to work something out.
That'd be pretty cool. Another special message I would like to put out there. We are accepting music submissions for our transition music. Right now we are only accepting submissions from Columbus musicians. We have had one episode where we used music from someone from Dallas. That is a special exception. We are only using from Columbus for now, and for this episode, the music that is being used, other than our intro music, which is provided by the lovely J. Rawls, that song is called Time Tunnel, but the interim music today is provided by Static Rez, and if you are a fan of Columbus hip-hop and the scene surrounding it, and you do not listen to Static Rez, you, my good friend, are a walking L. So we need you to check out Static Rez. He released his project Be Good about 3 months ago, something like that. Definitely an unskippable project. I've been listening to it since it came out. Static Rez is also just a great fucking dude in general, and I hope we can eventually have him on this podcast. But go ahead and check out his music. Search STATIC space Rez on any music. I believe he's on Spotify and SoundCloud. I don't know if he's on YouTube or not. He might have something on there. But that is where you'll find his music. Please check him out. We also have taken other submissions. We have a local polka trio that actually submitted some tracks. They do Oktoberfest every year, and they write songs about Dayton and stuff. So they're called the Route 161 Happy Wanderers, which is fucking fantastic. So hopefully we'll be able to use their music for the next episode next week.
And if you guys are interested in sending us your music submissions, you can contact us at theoutagecouch@gmail.com. That is our business email that we're currently using. If you have anything that you also want to hear us talk about on the podcast, you can contact that at that same email, or get a hold of us via Twitter at Gabs_Street on Twitter. And you can also comment in the YouTube comment section.
We see the YouTube comments. We definitely do. Do not fret. If you leave a suggestion for what to talk about, we will at least consider it. And if we don't want to talk about it, we'll try to give you a reason. Yeah, suggest stuff there. Suggest stuff on our... What else do we have? On our email. We have Twitter, YouTube, email. Suggest stuff on there. We will listen, and we would like to. We would like to receive a lot of suggestions for what to talk about. So please do so. That'd be awesome.
And speaking of what people have gotten in contact to us with about, there is a Reddit forum.
Yes.
That shares a very similar name and similar color scheme.
It's not on Reddit.
Is it?
It's not Reddit. It's a specific website, a standalone website,
I think they're also on Reddit.
Are they really?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this is something we want to address this episode pretty early on, just because we are not associated with them at all. There is apparently a community on the internet that uses the word Gab in their title as well, and they use green a lot. We also use green because it's a street sign.
Yeah.
But they are all about white supremacy and white nationalism, and we are in no way or shape associated with that community whatsoever. We have never had contact with any of the members. And to those of you who let us know that that is a thing that could possibly come up, thank you very much for letting us know. If anything else of the sort comes up like that, we would also like to know, because we don't want to be associated with those types of groups.
Yeah, we wanted to make sure that we let you guys know now, and let everybody know now that we are not associated with them, because we don't want more people to think that we are and then contact us about it, so that way when we eventually confront it, it just seems like we're trying to cover our asses. I mean, if you listen to the podcast, you can tell that the kind of content we put out and what they're putting out,
we aren't politicized at all.
What we're trying to steer away from anything that is mainly political or religious, because that is a good way to lose a good chunk of audience when you get into stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we're trying to play it safe with that kind of stuff. So we are in no way associated with that group, and we just want to let you guys know that.
Along with our audience, talking about audience, we would like to put out there some milestones that we've hit.
Yes, you guys are fucking amazing. We are up 150% this month in terms of overall consumption, in terms of watch and listens.
We have over 500 listens now, I believe.
Close, like 560 something.
Yeah, 568 to be exact, I believe. So keep listening, and the best way you can help us improve our numbers as well, if you really enjoy us, spread the word about us, please. If there's anyone in your life, friends, enemies, mortal enemies even, family that is mortal enemies with you, just if you think they'd be interested in things that we talk about and the content we put out there, just let them know about Gab Street Podcast, and
you guys can find us on iTunes or Apple Podcasts now. I guess it is Spotify, Google Play, YouTube, Podbean, and now apparently we're on Player FM.
Player FM, several other small things that.
Thankfully, the audience has actually gotten us on, because we didn't. Because we didn't
put anything on there.
They took our RSS feed from or our link from our Podbean account and added us to some other places, so that even more people can listen to us if you don't have a lot of these subscription services that we've mentioned before.
So thank you very much for putting us on there. If you're listening, whoever put us on player.fm, we really appreciate that. So because apparently that's a widespread.
I honestly never heard of it.
I never heard of it either, but apparently it's a way that puts it in a very palatable format for everybody to listen to. So
if you guys can think of any other platforms you want to hear us on, let us know, and we'll do our best to branch out so that everybody can hear some of what Gab Street has to spew.
We will bribe them. We will probe them. We will do whatever we need to do to have our content distributed more. We will stop at nothing. We are relentless. Yes.
It's funny you mentioned Relentless. We Are Relentless is the... I'm part of this Twitch group where what we do is that in order to like help grow our following, we're kind of like a small streamer community where we kind of like follow each other, and if we're going live, then we'll post in the Discord chat, so that way we can get a few followers to get us started for the night, and everybody's tag that we put in our titles is #WeAreRelentless.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, I guess we can add that to our list of things.
Yeah.
Nice. So we mentioned our platforms, how to get to us, a few milestones. In tandem with being interacted with and having someone reach out to us, Gage, is it story time?
It is story time. He fucked me with a toothbrush, Corey.
I
made that joke previously, and I just thought it was...
Jackson did nothing of the sort, Gage.
Oh my God.
Good Lord. Why would you accuse a man?
No, I'm just kidding. Maybe Jackson. But anyway, while we were at lunch with...
quick shout out. I did this shout out last time. Jackson Sloan too, but shout out Zay Crypto, first of all. He was part of our episode 5. He has gone out of his way. He has been out of this world in promoting what we do. He has taken videos of people on the street, people at his work, family members, saying on video, Gab Street Podcasts is at least listenable. No, but he's been promoting us by having people actually say that on video and putting real effort into getting us out there. They had a fucking baby.
They did.
They
got a baby to say Gab Street is dope. It was slightly incoherent, but
it happened eventually.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was very exciting. Yes. We were shitting our pants watching this stuff.
It's great when you're seeing people send us pictures and posting pictures on their like Instagram story of them saying like starting the day off right with like a picture of a Gab Street.
Yeah.
Playing on YouTube or Spotify or whatever. It's really cool.
It warms our hearts, man.
Yeah.
We love it.
But anyway.
Whole session like a soundscape. Call this out, we cool as that.
Yes, story time.
Last week when we had the episode with Jackson Sloan go up, and before we recorded the episode, we went out to lunch, and while we were at lunch, I got an interesting Instagram message by somebody with the username Big Boss N-word and some numbers. Very interesting encounter. I took a look at it, and it was this guy with kind of living that baller life, I guess, and I was getting messages from him saying, hey, how would you like to earn somewhere between $1,500 and $5,500?
Big gap, man.
Big gap.
That's weird.
And I was like, and I just said, how? And it's like, basically what I do is that for people helping me out, I like to reward them with a lot of money. And it was like, okay, how would I be helping you?
Yeah.
And then it would just continue.
With a toothbrush.
He basically just kept repeating himself, saying that I would be making a lot of money, but he never would like say what I would be doing.
And so you helped him, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And now I'm,
Now you're filthy fucking rich.
Now I'm filthy rich. But no, eventually the guy contacted me again and he was like, hey, listen, I'm some small music producer out of Detroit. I've ran into some legal trouble and I don't want the state taking my money away. And so what I do is that I pay people to hold on to my money for me. And... It was basically it was basically a money laundering scheme is what it sounded like.
Yeah.
And so he was like saying is like, oh, don't worry, it's super legit, you'll make a bunch of money. Here's a picture of one of my clients' bank accounts. For some reason he had a picture of somebody's bank account, which I knew was bullshit because who gives out their bank information like that where you can see all their statements? And I was like, and I said, and he was like, you realize it doesn't make any sense that you would have this information, right?
Well, it just shows he's trustworthy, man.
Yeah.
Somebody would give him that info.
And now I'm a millionaire. But no, it's, but no, it just didn't make any sense. I don't have the actual conversation anymore because, money laundering is illegal and I didn't want to be associated with this.
Shit's bad.
And
Don't put money through the washing machines, man.
Yeah,
it's not good.
It was so stupid. It was like I don't even know if it was like a bot. I don't think it was like pretty elaborate to be a bot, but at the same time there was no punctuation used whatsoever to make me. It was difficult to get what this motherfucker was putting down. Because it was just like I was reading it in a bunch of different ways. Because oh my god, it was awful. But I don't know if it was like some kind of very sophisticated bot or if somebody was really just trying to like scam me or whatever the hell this was. It was interesting. I've never had such like an elaborate scam.
Dude, if you're gonna scam somebody, scam them right, dude.
Right.
Like at least use proper English. Like if you're gonna scam me,
right,
I want to be scammed properly. Okay.
You and I have both had experience with Craigslist.
Yes,
scammers.
we have. This guy. I mean, admittedly, this was probably the dumbest thing I've ever done. But potentially. That TV that I gave you a little bit ago, I was trying to sell it on Craigslist, and because I'm greedy, I put it up for $300, hoping somebody would grab. And I mean, why not? If there's a possibility, start off with that, and then lower it later. So that's not the dumb part. But the dumb part was that somebody emailed me in response to the offer, and they said, "I will pay you $400." For this TV, so the extra $100 is so that you take down the listing.
Yeah.
so that no one else can put an offer on it. And I was like, oh, okay, that sounds great. And I took down the fucking listing like a dumbass, and they told me, yeah, man, I'll message you, or I won't. I'll send you a money order, or like a cashier's check or whatever in the fucking mail. And I'm like, wow, that sounds like a great idea. I've never gotten money like that before.
Yeah.
And turns out I'm a millionaire now. But but
It's like those Nigerian prince scams.
exactly,
like,
dude. I'm supporting so many. You have no idea. I'm such a nice guy. I'm just a philanthropist. No, but this guy is like, so I live in Kentucky, and I'm gonna mail you some money through a money order, and then I'm gonna send the guy and it's not gonna be me, and it's gonna be with the truck, and he's gonna pick it up, and you're gonna pay him some of the money, and then I'm gonna give you the rest of the money later. And then I was like, I'm sorry, where do the blocks fit in the holes here? Like, I feel like I'm in kindergarten. You're leading me on here. Can we just meet up?
Yeah.
Like, for the love of God? Like, dude, this is dumb. This is convoluted. And I ended up giving them a little too much personal information.
Corey.
Yeah, I
Corey.
know. And, well, we haven't had any spare bullets going through the windows, so...
No
we're
bricks
okay.
with notes on them.
No bricks with notes on them. No pieces of paper. No taken 3 moments, so we're okay. I'm okay so far. It's been a while. But for rule number 1 of Craigslist, if somebody offers you more money than you
It's a
were
scam.
offering it for,
And if somebody,
you bet your ass.
If somebody offers to pay with a check, it's a scam.
If
Especially
it's
if they plan to mail it to you.
Mail it, if it's a cashier's check, if it's a money order, only take physical cash in person or like Venmo or whatever.
And even if it is going to be like a Venmo or PayPal transaction, make sure that the transaction is complete during the meetup.
Exactly.
And if you are going to meet somebody, make sure it's a very public area. I've had a similar experience when I was trying to sell a laptop. Somebody got a hold of me saying, "Hey, I'll pay you."
Thing.
I don't know. I don't know what it was.
It was a lizard man.
Yeah. Somebody got a hold of me and was like, "Hey, I'll give you extra money to take it down, and I'll send you a check." And I was like, "That's not going to work for me." And then, yeah, and it was like a conflicting name and a conflicting email. Like the things didn't quite match up with who they were saying that they were.
Yeah.
And it was just
There's a Queen of England.
basically it was the Nigerian prince.
But they arrived and it was actually Joe Rogan. Oh my God! Wow.
Yeah. Eventually, somebody did buy that laptop from me though, like
Really?
a legit person. Yeah.
That's cool.
So.
A legitimate non-lizard person.
Yes.
It's pretty rare
He
nowadays.
could have been wearing a mask though, so I don't. It might have been a lizard person.
Could have been a very good.
Argonian.
Yeah, Argonian. The lusty Argonian maid bought a laptop from you.
Yeah.
Shout out Mike and his Elder Scrolls lore knowledge.
The lore expert himself.
The lore expert. Don't you have the hat too?
I have a hat because he
Yes.
bought two hats. They say lore expert because he's so invested in his Fallout and Elder Scrolls lore. So he bought one of them, and for some reason he got a second one that had like the colors inverted, and he was just like, "Hey, I got a second one. You want one?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah, I want a hat."
That's true, don't ever say it's cruel. And then sometimes I choose to let my thoughts consume confessions of my life. I like to hide it, glues my open eyes. See you, don't give advice.
Let's talk about the new Elder Scrolls game. I don't know anything about it. What do you know? The mobile, right?
It's a mobile Elder Scrolls game.
What's it called?
It's called Elder Scrolls Blades.
Okay.
If you don't know the Elder Scrolls series, it's like Skyrim, Oblivion,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
God Howard.
It's really interesting because it's basically like Skyrim on a phone, basically, and like the graphics look really good. The game
they sold it to you again.
They did, but it was free. It was free though, and it's in early access right
That's
now.
how they get you.
Yeah, but like only a handful of people got a hold of it because you had to like sign up for it when they had it. So like only a few people have access to the early access, and I just happened to be one of them. But I've only played a little bit of it, and from what I've played, I really like it because I never like was extensive like a huge player when it came to like the Elder Scrolls games. I was always more of a Fallout kind of guy.
Yeah.
I've never actually beaten a Fallout game, unfortunately. I came really close to beating Fallout 3. It's just hard for me to find the time to really sit down and grind through and really finish those games because I don't really sit down and like... I know some people will play the main story and then go do the side quests later.
Yeah.
I'm someone who kind of does the side quests...
Oh, same, dude.
To, like, as I progress through the story, too.
I do as many side quests as I can before progressing in the story.
I was trying to do that with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I was trying to complete all the side quests that I could before I had to move on to the next main story bit. But eventually I was just kind of like, you know what? I am not going to have a lot of time to play this game. I'm just going to beat the story now and do the side quest later.
Yeah.
But now it's one of those things where, like, now that I've completed the main story, I don't have nearly as much, what's the word I'm looking for? Motivation to go back and, like, finish the side quests, because, I don't know, that's just kind of how it always is with me. Like, I don't really go back and finish side quests. I'm more just kind of like, I'll finish the side quests as I go, and then kind of just work my way through the main story when it comes to video games. But, yeah.
I played a bit of Oblivion. I played a bit of Skyrim. I've never played Morrowind, even though it was free recently. I forgot to grab it. Elder Scrolls Arena, though, top shit, hot, yes. Game of the decade.
Game of the decade?
Was it released in the 90s?
Was it?
It was a game of last decade. I don't know.
Maybe. You've been playing a lot of Sekiro, right?
Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice.
Shadows Die Twice.
Also known as Sekiro, Corey Dies a Lot. And that game's hard as shit, dude. Like,
is it as hard as the Dark Souls games?
Harder.
Really?
Well, okay. There are multiple reasons why it's harder. And this is something that Jim Sterling made a point of on his video about Sekiro. But the play style in Sekiro is it's very straightforward, and there's one play style only that you can really do. And that is being super aggressive and blocking super aggressively, and it's like super fast paced. Whereas in Dark Souls, there are so many different loadouts and so many different builds that you can do that allow you to play the game differently and how you enjoy it. I've always gone for a strength build in Dark Souls games where I just have, like, you know, a giant fucking hammer or a giant mace and I just pound dudes into the ground. Sekiro, you have a sword that you attack really quickly with, and that's it, you know? Like, that's the only offensive thing you have, other than some attachments to your prosthetic arm. And those are pretty dope if you use them right, but that's not, like, a primary thing. That's to help you use your sword properly, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the difficulty with it, and it's just, the timing is so hard, and it's so fast-paced, and every enemy, even if it's a tiny grunt, can destroy you. In seconds. So, you know, if you just got to do it right. And you have the Dark Souls games too. I know that.
I have the first two. I played like a couple minutes of the first one. I think I like played through like the first boss. But I have such an extensive video game collection that I'm a kind of a collector. So when I get a new game, I kind of play that for a while, and then I'll get a new one and play that. So I don't really take the time and focus on a single game and then move on to another one. I'm kind of just like, I'll play whatever I feel like at the time. And I'm very like ADD when it comes to video games. Like, I was just like, if it doesn't pique my interest within like a few minutes, I probably won't play it. I'll probably switch to something else.
Yeah. That was Witcher 3 for me. I played Witcher 3 for about... it's a weirdly long amount of time to play it without being interested, but it was about 7 hours.
Well, a game like that has like a 60-hour campaign.
Right. Well, now I'm 60 hours in, but I played it for 7 hours at first, and I was like, what am I doing? Like, it was just so slow, and the combat was a lot different from what I'm used to, and I quit playing it for about 6 months, and then I came back to it, and I was like, shit, I'm rediscovering this. This is my game now. So I just kind of, I just blasted through most of it. And I still haven't finished it, but it's a great game.
Looking for some options that you know I've been missing. Going different direction, and I'm speaking terms. Let's see one conversations.
Speaking of video games are very much associated, at least they have been for a while, not so much kind of now, but a more introverted crowd. And I think we wanted to talk about a little kind of introverted, extroverted, and our experience with both kind of social types.
Would you say you're introverted or extroverted?
I spent a majority of my life being very introverted. I was someone that was very comfortable being by myself, doing my own thing. As I went into more of the middle school times, I kind of started to go through a transformation period because people would very often bring up the fact that I was a like a loner. Kids would like on the playground and stuff would see me kind of by myself, like drawing or just kind of sitting there by myself, and like would almost kind of like make fun of me for being a loner. So I feel like I was almost kind of forced into this like extroverted type personality. I still have like somewhat of like introverted features. Like, I don't know if features is the right word, but I'm someone
literary features.
Yeah, I'm someone who's like very comfortable being around people, but I'm also kind of, for the most part, still being okay doing my own thing.
Yeah.
For a while, people were just like, even like teachers were kind of like, hey, we noticed that you're not really like participating or like saying a lot, and is like, and people thought like something was wrong with me, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know, but like there's just parts, even when I'm hanging out with some people, my brain will like after a while just kind of shut down, and I'll still kind of just drift into my own thoughts. Not like, I don't know, it's just, even though I'm with people and want to be around people, I don't have the motivation to interact with people. It's a weird thing. I still like interacting and hanging out and being a social person, but at the same time I'm still comfortable doing my own thing because I have other things that I can be doing in my time. But I do have those times where even if I am by myself, I have those times where it's like, you know what, maybe I'm gonna go catch a movie with a friend instead of sitting here and play Fallout or whatever.
Yeah. I've definitely been extroverted my entire life. But when you were talking about the class participation thing, I've never been a huge hand raiser either. I don't think that's really any sort of indicator of introversion or extroversion, because that's a weird environment to be in.
Yeah.
You know? Because most of the time for me, if I'm in a classroom, most of my high school career, I haven't been super familiar with most of the people in my class. So obviously, if I'm with a group of friends, I'm willing to say stuff and answer things, but I have to be pretty comfortable in that. But if I'm with a group of people that like my work, for example, my job most of the time is speaking to large groups of people.
Right.
You know, I run through the same spiel every time, but it's a presentation. I have to present for about 15 minutes per group. So it's every 15 minutes I'm giving a long presentation. And that's come very comfortably to me. I'm very comfortable with that. And I feel like that's a very extroverted thing to be comfortable with. I know, actually, my dad is more of an introverted guy, and he has put a lot of work into being comfortable with public speaking. And I'm still nervous right before a public speech.
Yeah.
You know, but one thing I've noticed is that if I say I'm nervous to the audience, it really helps things. Mm-hmm. I do that pretty much every time. Not at work, but if I'm doing a school presentation or something like that, I'll be like, just getting that nervous energy out by laughing.
And I feel like that at your job, considering you work at an axe throwing facility, telling people that you're a little nervous is probably not
the greatest thing to do.
It's probably not a good confidence booster.
It's like you're at a shooting range. It's like, so some of you are probably gonna die today. Like, it's just kind of like, that's not how it works. Just to put it out there, Dueling Axes has yet to have a single axe-related injury. The only injury we've ever had is someone tripping on a bag and landing on their knee. So, you know, that's, I say that's pretty decent for what we run. But yeah, it's a safe sport. So we recommend you come in and throw for an hour or two. It's a great time. I might coach you if you come in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool.
And then you and Corey can talk about how much y'all love Gab Street.
Exactly. I will be wearing not my work uniform, but my Gab Street uniform, and my bosses will tell me off, but it'll be okay because I'm just repping the merch, man.
Well, my job requires me to wear a shirt and tie.
Yeah.
Because it's all fancy like.
Oh my! Look at Michael Shutter.
Oh, you know what we got to start doing? We got to start selling Gab Street ties.
Gab Street ties.
Yes.
Do you think people would buy those?
I would.
Yeah.
I could wear it.
You wear it to work?
I could wear it to work because I gotta wear a shirt and tie.
I'm sure you could design a custom tie.
Or like a button-up shirt, but it just has like the Gab Street like plate.
Yeah.
All over it.
Damn.
Like a
good idea. Let's
like
keep
plaid, but with the Gab Street sign.
Pressing that archive button. We're making it real. By the way, there are Gab Street leggings now.
If you check out the Redbubble store, look us up on Gab Street. There's like getting like a proper URL to like your Redbubble portfolio is such a pain in the ass. Like, you have to, like, it's for a certain, like, I think you have to do, like, redbubble.com/portfolio/ like, the user who sells it. It's such, because when I tried to put in, like, a simple URL for people to follow to get, like, my merchandise for the stuff that I sell, it's, like, such a pain because I never quite know what the exact username or, like, the exact URL I should be putting down. I have to, like, go to the website and, like, there's just, like, yeah, it's like we're looking at it right now. It's like redbubble.com/people/hodot is where you can see all of the Gab Street stuff.
Yeah, on that profile, there's Gab Street. I made some stuff out of some travel photography that I've taken as well, so you can check that out too. I've received one favorite, so I'm getting up there, but if you search on Redbubble Gab Street logo, that will come up, and there are stickers, there are T-shirts, there are leggings now, there are clocks. I didn't enable clocks. Never mind. If you want clocks, we're gonna have to reach about 1,000 listens.
We got mugs.
We got mugs though.
We got to get mugs for when we start doing video podcasts. We can be those pricks that have their own, like, merch up in the background and, like, drinking out of Gab mugs.
One milestone we'd like to hit. If we hit 1,000 listens,
we'll get a fucking street sign.
We're getting the street sign. We're gonna have an official street sign. It says Gab Street. We're gonna own our own street, and you'll be able to drive through my bedroom. It'll be great. Just careful of the walls. My room's about as wide as a car, so
As we progress in terms of popularity, the street will be relocated. So we'll start at the hilltop and work our way up to Upper Arlington.
Perfect. What's our auto shop? What's gonna be on there?
Our auto shop?
Yeah, we gotta own an auto shop. We're gonna be set up in the hilltop.
Is that how it works?
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know.
Let's get 3C Body Shop to sponsor us. How about that?
That'd be cool.
That'd be pretty sweet. Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
But yeah. Let's talk about introversion, extroversion as it relates to social media. Mm-hmm. Just because I feel like that's created a whole new paradigm of things as opposed to the past. Whereas, before it was a fucking carrier pigeon. Like, you couldn't, like, it wasn't like, send nudes, babe, and it would come back in, like, 3 weeks. Like,
that's a fucking painting. It's a fucking charcoal
it's
drawing.
A portrait. Send portraits, babe. But, now you can have, delightful conversations with telepresence and stuff like that. Who uses telepresence? That's not... You use Skype and Discord,
TeamSpeak.
TeamSpeak died when Discord happened.
Yeah.
R.I.P. TeamSpeak. But
anyway, back to social media.
Yeah.
I feel like people talk about this social pressure of being on social media
and having followers
and having followers and having a presence. People talk about this a lot, but I don't think... I haven't, in the real world at least, I haven't seen this be, like, a real thing, to be honest.
Yeah.
And just because I haven't seen it doesn't mean it, I was like, I haven't seen it, so it's not real. But it's like...
Well, we're not part of that realm, I feel like.
Yeah, but, like, people at school aren't giving each other shit because someone has 1,000 followers and the other person only has, like, 100, Like,
I would. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but, like, I feel like like, this whole terms of, like... cliques in high school still kind of exist, but I don't think they, at least in our environment, don't exist to the extent that people, like, might see them in media.
Yeah. Like, not in a Netflix show that's trying to represent high school.
Like, I can have a conversation about something with somebody that might be considered a jock the same way I might be able to have a conversation with you about something.
Exactly.
I feel like it's stupid to think of somebody as less or more because of some kind of social media following or because they belong to a certain social group. I feel comfortable interacting with just about anybody just because I can relate with them because we're a student we go to the same place. I feel like
we're humans.
We're humans. I feel like I can I'm somebody that I feel like I could conversate with just about anybody on any kind of topic, to be honest.
Yeah. And that's why we're doing a podcast.
And that's why we're doing a podcast.
Where we have guests come on.
Right.
Yes. One thing that I like to mention about social media is certain people posting everything, And
the worst are the people that post on their Instagram and Snapchat stories where you can see, especially on Instagram, where you can see like the thing at the top how many things they've added to their story.
Yeah.
And you just see dot, 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 dot,
Yeah,
dot, dot,
it's
dot, dot,
just
all across the screen. So
fucking Morse code at this point. They're sending help. It's an SOS with Morse code at the very top of their thing.
I got no ceilings, no more way. I got like no more days. And I try, yeah. And I try.
But there's a difference that I'll recognize between people like Jake Paul, who are making, bad example, but he's making a living out of that, and that's a form of content that people are engaging with, you know? Like, that's fine to a certain extent. I don't support what he does, really, because it's pandering to children, and, you know, there are some times where I remember he and Rice Gum started, promoting gambling to children and stuff, but...
I think that was more like Rice Gum and some other, like, CSGO streamer.
Yeah. Jake Paul took part in it, though.
Did he?
Yeah, it was the same website. But anyway, they put out bad stuff sometimes, but they're using it as a platform for content creation, and people engage in that kind of content, and I can respect people enjoying things, because why would I not let someone enjoy things, you know? Like, that's kind of fucking stupid. But then there are the people who gain nothing from it, really, who post, like, here's my breakfast, here's my lunch, here's my dinner, here's my fourth meal, here's me taking a shit. Like, it's just...
Yeah, these are, like, the internet influencers, and I feel like with posting everything about your life on social media takes away any kind of sense of privacy. And I feel, and like some people, and you see these stories of some people and like vloggers and other influencers that in a sense don't kind of hate it because they have no privacy. And
shout out to Gab Street episode 1. We were talking about social privacy.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead. Throwback.
But these people that they've become, that's how they've made their living, that's how they've grown their audience, is by showing every aspect of their life to everybody. I feel like Jesse Ridgway or McJuggernuggets has gotten around this by geniusly implementing story and narrative into the Vloglight style, because from 2012 to 2016 he did what was called the Psycho series, where he created a almost like reality TV like show where his dad would like destroy his shit and like kick him out of the house and stuff. And it were like daily vlogs, but he had like this really deep almost narrative to what he was doing. And I feel like if you're gonna, especially in how YouTube is nowadays, that's the perfect way to get it to people, is because the whole like traditional filmmaking and narrative style videos that you might have seen back in the day with like sketch comedy and like Smosh and Nigahiga and Corridor Digital, that unfortunately seems like it's really beginning to fade away.
Yeah.
You still see stuff from them on the trending page from once in a while, but you're not going to see it as often as people that are doing more like in front of a webcam or in front of a vlog camera type style. And I feel like Jesse Ridgway's Psycho series, I feel like was the best way to tell a story, was to reach into this medium that everybody began to follow.
What do you think's more effective at putting a message out there for people to follow? Is it that format, or is it like a traditional format such as a film with a moral? You know, like, what gives you an easier role model to follow?
Well, it's easier for people to go off of what's being talked about in a vlog, because there's no hidden message. It's a direct message, because it's literally someone talking to a camera. Because if you watch a narrative or a film, that requires people to think, and not a lot of people are willing to do that nowadays, is from what I can tell.
You don't have to do a literary analysis to figure out that you shouldn't shoot people. Like, you just, you know, it's not the way it should be.
Right.
But McJuggernuggets did end up shooting his dad. So where does that bring us today, huh?
That was kind of the point in the series where even like there were people who thought the whole thing was real up until that point.
Yeah.
And he tried to do things with, he did a series called My Virtual Escape, where he did a series that was a lot more, it was more scripted and narrative. It was a lot more narrative, but it still followed the like vlog style camera work, where it was like rather than jump cutting between characters in a piece of dialogue, it was the camera panning back and forth, which to an extent, if you're trying, because it has that vlog type format, so I kind of see where he was going with, but for the story that he was trying to tell, I feel like he could have done it a lot differently.
I think that camera style works only if you're doing it in like a fast-paced action scene.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? Where it's like, guy's talking over here, and the guy's talking over here, and it's like they're shooting at somebody. Like, you know, that kind of...
But if you're doing dramatic dialogue, it's...
Like, Tarantino wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
You know?
That's...
You know, the godfather of long dialogue scenes, you know? That's not your taste.
As we sit here with literally 4 Tarantino posters up in the room.
Did y'all know that the studio has a Django Unchained, a Pulp Fiction, a Hateful Eight, and Inglourious Bastards poster on the wall next to us? That is my room, and that's what we have. I'm a huge fan of Tarantino films.
Siri just picked up like half of our conversation.
That's amazing. What does it have? Hold on.
Hey Siri, is that what a lot more... Oh, fuck. Okay, it deleted itself. Alright, but
Damn.
anyway, it had like a whole like 2 paragraphs of stuff that it picked up from my phone.
That's funny. So, but I'm a huge fan of Tarantino, but I'm not nearly as much of a film buff as you are.
Yeah. I haven't seen... I mean, I've seen a good chunk. I haven't seen all of Tarantino's movies. I want to see all of them. I'm trying to think... I haven't seen... I saw like 20 minutes of Reservoir Dogs.
Really?
And I think I like fell asleep during it or something, but I didn't
I
get
don't know
around
how
to
you could fall asleep doing that film.
I think I must have been really fucking tired. But I haven't seen Inglourious Bastards. I've seen Hateful Eight, Pulp Fiction, both of the Kill Bill movies.
Just 2 weeks ago now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I haven't seen Django.
Django's good.
There's that one movie, what was it called?
Jackie Brown.
Jackie Brown, I haven't seen that.
I haven't seen that one, actually.
Other one that he did with Kurt Russell that our friend Sam was talking about. That like grindhouse film.
I don't know.
Fuck, I don't remember, but it was like the one film that he made that wasn't really well received.
Yeah.
And like he doesn't really count it as
was
part
it
of
Death
his...
Proof?
Yes, that's what it was.
That's what it is.
It was he like doesn't really count it as part of his like when he like because when it says like this film like number film by Quentin Tarantino, like he doesn't really count that one.
Okay. Fair enough.
But yeah, I want to catch up on his stuff.
Sure.
He's a very interesting human being.
We'll do it eventually. We'll get him on the podcast at some point.
Quentin
Tarantino
Quentin,
on Gab Street. If you listen to us in secret, please.
I'm the eccentric child, I just be living inside, ayy. Regular everyday shit, that's all I'm rapping about, ayy. That's how you move around, that's how you move around, ayy. Regular everyday shit, no, I just gotta sit down.
But speaking of, making stuff and just putting movies out there, and not on the level of Tarantino, obviously, but just being able to release content such as McJuggernuggets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What's come with the advent of the internet and faster internet speeds and better access to better equipment to more people, just like this podcast, for instance, is the crazy amount of ease of creative outlet that comes today and the saturation of creative, fields that's happening now. And I think that's a great thing. And for one, it's a great thing and it's a bad thing, both for a few different reasons. One reason why I see it being kind of negative is that it makes it a ton more competitive for everything, and the standards are a lot higher. But that also leads to a good reason why it's a good thing, because it provides a higher standard for consumption for people as well. So it's pretty, that level of competition can be daunting for people. It's daunting for us in the podcast community because it's rather easy to create a podcast, but it's difficult to perfect the art of podcasting and the art of making a listenable podcast.
Yeah.
See, like, if you're just bringing your buddies on a podcast and you're just kind of shooting the shit, it's not always great.
It can be. It's all about how you, structure and... you can have people on just to shoot the shit, but I feel like if you want to reach a more broader audience, you want to have people that are kind of in a, work in a certain field, like what we're trying to do, where we have people on that have experience in a certain field. We had Jackson on because he's made a feature-length film and he's currently studying film. We've had Zay, Crypto, and Luke on because they actually participate in the underground music scene. Same with Evan and the other guests that we have on, because they actually have experience in a certain field, and like how you get what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And it's sometimes all the time, I think, the effort that it takes to get someone who is actually researched, who is a subject matter expert, is always effort well spent, I think. It's always a better idea to grab somebody like that. And as we were talking about with ease of creative outlet, when it comes to podcasts, when it comes to vlogs, when it comes to short films, when it comes to music, everything is easier to make now. Everybody can make a rap song. Mm-hmm. Everybody can make one now. I've made rap music. Even I've made rap music, dude. And like, it's no longer dictated
by big studios.
Right, exactly. The access to music, the widespread access to creative outlets is no longer dictated by, well, this dude got a TV deal.
Right. It's dictated on how well you can get your content out there.
Exactly.
And your talent,
if it's good
I feel
enough.
like, right. And I think if your talent also is kind of a huge factor, because if you suck, then people are not going to listen to you. But like,
sometimes that's why people listen to you, though.
Yeah, I know. I was just about to say that. Like, Ice JJ Fish, god awful, but I love his stuff because it's absolutely hilarious, and that man became super famous because of it.
Yeah.
So we live in an age where like
we live in a society.
We live in a society. God damn it. we live in a society where you can be really bad at something, but you're so bad that people are still willing to tune into your stuff because of how bad it is, which I think is fascinating.
We've created a whole new paradigm of entertainment where
we live in a world of parody, basically.
Exactly.
Where like parody
The
is as
Onion.
well. Yeah.
I mean, The Onion's actually skillful satire, obviously, but like, do you follow the subreddit r/coaxed into a snafu?
I do not.
Okay, so this is a subreddit where they take meme formats that are currently popular and they just draw them in MS Paint and they just do like a shitty like cookie cutter situation of it and they just make fun of the format itself.
Nice.
Like it looks like shit, but it's hilarious.
It's like r/bone hurting juice, where it's just
anti-memes.
It's just anti-memes.
Yeah.
Just like it follows a specific meme format, but just have an anti-joke layered in.
Dude, some subreddits out there, man. Oh my god.
I love Reddit. I didn't get into Reddit until like a couple months ago because I had a subreddit because I was trying to create one for my YouTube channel, like a subreddit for it. And then it just laid dormant until I got a 3D printer and thought I broke it. So I took to some forums and people got back to me really quick.
So Reddit.
Yeah.
How can I fix this?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of like, oh wow, this is actually really cool. And then I started jumping around to a bunch of different subreddits and
then you were sucked in.
And then I got sucked in.
You will never leave.
And now I follow r/SBUBBY.
Dude, Spubby's so fucking great. If you don't know what r/SBUBBY is, SBUBBY, I like saying that. It is a subreddit where they take logos of certain companies and certain like text graphic design and they just replace it with other shit.
With like meme text and like with like meme slogans and shit. It's really funny.
Like I can't really think of an example right now. Or it was the original ones, Bubby, eat free. Like that shit's just so funny. Or zombies, eat flesh. Like stuff like that, you know. But obviously way better. Like they'll take the logo of Super Smash Brothers and change it to other stuff. So yeah, it's a great subreddit. You guys check it out.
I saw one where it was like the old like Nintendo stamp seal of approval with like the gold and the white, and it said like she shat herself.
See, it's just dumb shit like that, but it's so funny.
Have you seen the meme format where it's like the he lied, like she believed he lied?
Yes,
and people are just like Speeve. They take because like they'll take he lied out of she believed, and then you just what do you have left? Speeve.
14-year-old girls. Oh god, this is so deep.
That's my favorite meme format right now.
Yeah, that's great.
Meme review.
Meme review. We're Gab Street Meme Review. We're gonna go on PewDiePie's channel, and we're gonna get on there. And we're gonna beat tier series. It's gonna be great.
Is that still like a thing that people keep up with? Like,
I don't know,
what
man.
is the? I think the count's pretty close from what I can tell. Like,
I don't care enough to look, honestly. I mean,
I know people are saying it's like a big deal because like it's important that PewDiePie stays ahead because otherwise that means that Bollywood is the number one most subscribed. Because that's what a T-series is, Bollywood.
Why is that a problem though? Like I don't understand.
Because I don't know. Because because it's a huge like production studio,
So it's more
like,
of like a big business over.
It's like if Hollywood were to
independent.
take over YouTube. If our yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense because the angle that I always saw it presented from and why I never cared was because people thought India is winning over like the entirety of India.
I think it's Bollywood is Hollywood but in India.
Yeah,
and so
I knew that.
It's basically like if I think like big production studios are taking over the internet or like taking over YouTube, which is supposed to be very independently focused on certain creators. And
dude, but Slumdog Millionaire though.
I might be wrong in terms of like that. Why if that might be the whole like conflict. I don't really keep up with it, but I've heard something similar to that.
Yeah. I've never really. I'll be honest. I've never watched PewDiePie.
I've had people show him to me back in middle school, and I just never got into him. I was always more of a Tobuscus fan. R.I.P. Oh my, his channel has
So
unfortunately
sad.
taken such a dip. He's become a hardcore sad boy ever since that whole scandal with his ex happened, or like it wasn't really his ex. Like he gave his position on what happened the night that she made that Tumblr post about his friend made that Tumblr post about, but.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's still a handful of people. I personally don't. I believe like some aspects of what people are saying, but not all of them.
Chicken nugget biscuit.
Yeah. He made a second
with the mashed potatoes.
He made a second one, but it's literally not really. The lyrics aren't really
sauce.
any second. It's just 2 nuggets, 2 biscuits, and it's.
It's double the flavor, dude.
Double the flavor.
It's double the flavor.
I went to McDonald's this morning to get breakfast.
Did you have some nuggies?
I did not. It
Did
was
you have some
like
McNuggies?
No, it was around like 11:30.
Yeah.
And so they had already like stopped getting all like they have like their all day breakfast, but it's like 3 different sandwiches you can choose from.
Yeah.
And so
Are they really sandwiches though? If it's from Mickey D's.
Yeah, I mean
McDick's
breakfast sandwiches.
Yeah.
Thicky
Really?
D's.
Thicky D's.
But I just ended up getting because it was like 11:30 to 12, and I was like, fuck it, I'll just get a burger and fries. And I was telling my brother, like, what do you want? And he's like, I just want a biscuit and a sausage patty. And I told them at the drive-thru, and they were like, just a biscuit and just a sausage patty.
Nugget and a biscuit. Sorry. That's what it is.
And he was like, yeah,
Made
that
it
was his
real.
breakfast. And a chocolate shake. He got a chocolate shake, too.
Did you dip it in there?
No, he didn't.
All right.
He didn't even cut the biscuit and have to make like a sandwich or anything. He just ate the fucking sausage patty.
That's mildly upsetting.
Yeah. I was very disappointed.
Like, I'm not going to shit myself angry, but, like...
Right?
That's kind of like, Like, why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's probably a good time to wrap up this episode of the Gab Street Podcast. Thank you so much to Zay Crypto for shouting us out, Static Res for supplying music, and always thank you to our good sponsor this week, The Green Room. Keep in touch with the Gab Street Podcast to hear more about The Green Room and when you can be shopping at one of their fine establishments that'll be set up sometime late this year.
Don't forget to send us suggestions. Don't forget to send us music. Don't forget to engage with us. We always love to hear from our audience. Please, please, please send us some messages. We would love to hear from all of you. So, we will join you again. You will join us again next week. And we will have a guest that we are not announcing yet. Because that's not how we roll. So,
We like to keep it a surprise.
we do. Sayonara.
I love you.